Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the CXO Roundtable Mumbai. This is an initiative by The Talk. The Talk offers a very strong platform for high-profile talks and conversations with leaders and experts in business, technology, and innovation that transforms leaders, impact organization, and to develop evolving business models. This is an initiative by The Talk, a new media and thought leadership platform. This event is brought to you by the Tata Tele Business Services. It is country's leading enabler of connectivity and communication solutions for businesses, with services ranging from connectivity, collaboration, cloud, security, IoT, and marketing solutions. Tata Tele Business Services offers the largest portfolio of ICT services for the businesses in India. Having said that, I once again welcome you all to this round panel discussion with the theme of Reset to Grow with Tech Advantage. And now I would like to begin today's panel discussion round by introducing all the lovely panelists who have took their time off their schedule and here being present here with us. And I would also like to request you to give a good round of applause as I introduce their name. Now, I know this is a virtual session, but let's do it so that we have a good energy flowing inside the room. I would like to start. Can you hear me? Yeah, I would like to start by introducing Mr. Varun Mohan, Head Growth and Revenue, India and SAARC at MIC. Welcome, Mr. Varun. Pleasure to see you.
Hi, thank you very much.
We also have
pleasure to be here.
Yeah, we also have Mr. Ravi Mishra, Senior Vice President and HR, Advanced Materials Business, a division of Grasim Industries Limited. Welcome, Mr. Ravi.
Thank you.
We also have Mr. Dinesh Arora, Head Growth and Revenue, Tender Cuts. Good evening, Mr. Dinesh. Welcome.
Hi, thank you.
Yeah. We also have Mr. Pratap Garge, CEO and CIO Advisor, Digital IT Strategist, Multisoft Consultants LLP. Welcome, Mr. Pratap.
Thank you.
Pleasure having you. We also have Mr. Rohit Kumar Singh, Business Head, Strakon Business Services. Welcome, Mr. Rohit.
Thank you.
Pleasure to have you. And it is also my deep privilege and pleasure in introducing and inviting Janice Das, Regional Marketing Head, Mumbai, Tata Teleservices Limited. Welcome, Janice.
Thank you.
Yes, I hereby pass on the floor to Janice for a brief welcome address for today's meeting.
Thank you, Muthu. And a very good afternoon to all the eminent speakers and to all the participants who have taken time out from the busy schedule and been part of this Tata Tele Business Services Roundtable. I would like to take some time and talk about what is our core strength and how are we focusing on markets so that the SMEs can do big. So we have all experienced in the last 1.5 years that COVID-19 had acted as a tipping point for the digital transformation of workplace. And this is speeding up further as technology is now a vital pivot on which enterprises are totally dependent for their business continuity and growth. Digital agility thus is becoming a critical factor for the workforce to communicate and collaborate effectively both internally and with customers. We have been empowering enterprises with voice, data, and managed services to develop deep digital capabilities, build resilience, and enhance operational efficiency. We are happy that in order to enable SMEs to sustain and to grow, we have launched very recently Smart Internet, a product which will enable us to improve our efficacy and our productivity. Now, digitally driven businesses continue to modernize their operations, and for that, they require manageability and visibility, alongside consistent and fast internet connectivity with built-in robust cyber threat protection. Due to this increased frequency and sophistication of cyber attacks like phishing, ransomware, and among others, network manageability and visibility has become a concern. And that has rendered many businesses unproductive, with profound impact on their financials. So we have launched something called Smart Internet, which is industry's first smart internet leased single suite combining high-speed internet with cloud-based security and greater control at an optimized cost. It covers security. It is ultra fast. It is reliable, visible, manageable. These are the key attributes of smart internet. It offers protection against malware, botnets, phishing, ransomware, adware, as well as command and control callbacks over any port or protocol, thus resulting in a strong domain name server security. It provides, along with protection, it also provides control for seamless connectivity, which allows customers to block, unblock websites and content categories. And third, it also provides manageability, which allows customers to view their dashboard with event logs, threads block, creating a new value add along with ILA link utilization and reports. So all these benefits, we are hopeful that they will provide businesses with more confirmed and reliable security for protection against sudden and impending cyber attacks. So our endeavor has been always to be in touch with customers. And for the last 2 decades, our deep customer engagement have helped us to develop solutions which would enable enterprises to compete and win in their respective business segments. We will continue to play the role of technology enabler by strengthening our portfolio of services, especially in the areas of connectivity, collaboration, SaaS, IaaS, Internet of Things, and cloud, while simultaneously enhancing our network and sales reach capability to cover as much of the enterprise footprint as possible and enable them to do that. Thank you once again for sparing your time and joining this session. I'm sure we will all benefit immensely from your insights. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Janice, for that lovely welcome address and setting the tone of today's meeting on a very high note and beautifully explaining all the benefits of the Tata telebusiness services and the product of smart internet. So, ladies and gentlemen, I once again, formally kickstart today's round panel discussion. So, as we are talking about, you might have a small, a curiosity about what we are going to do and why are we here today. And I also would like to inform you that we have a lot of other viewers and attendees who are watching this program live. And once this is over, this entire program will be broadcasted on YouTube so that all the youngsters and the startup wannabes would watch this video and gain inspiration from each and every one of you. So today we are going to discuss about for this last 2 years, life has been a complete roller coaster, right? So lots of ups and downs. And I remember for the very first time when the entire country went into a lockdown, so we were very optimistic, telling ourselves that things will be over very soon. We had this optimism and have a feeling that things would be fine back in August 2020 itself. Now it's 2022, and recently I found out that there is a new variant called Omicron being generated yesterday, right? So I don't think so that the situation is getting any way better. It's only getting worse and worse. And we are forced to a situation of adaptability under any circumstances, right? But life has been very different post the COVID era, right? So ever since the nation went into lockdown and post which life has been completely different for each and every one of us. But let us all take a small tour of nostalgia. As I'm talking about this lockdown, let me ask you a very interesting question to give you all a small flashback. So what went through your mind when the lockdown began, and what were your top priorities as a CXO? I'd like to start with Mr. Varun Mohan. Over to you.
So for me, it was a different story altogether because I've just started MIQ business 2 weeks before the lockdown. So we've been preparing in terms of how should we launch the whole commercial business in India, in terms of what kind of market we should capture, what kind of clients we should go through. So we created a long business plan for 2020 in terms of the first year. What we should achieve in a way, right? And by the time we joined and knowing about the company and getting out of the market, the lockdown started. So it was completely a drastic change for us in terms of where should we start and what should we do. And unfortunately for all of us, there is no use case where we can refer to, right? Because we have something which is selling for the first time and we got no idea that how should we go about this. And as you rightly mentioned, initially we were thinking that, okay, it's going to be over within a month. So let's just wait for a month and seek, look at internal things and what we should do. And let's start planning for a month. And I think April just went through that way. And May is where we realized that it's not going away for a while, and the way things are changing, in fact, right? So then we started reworking our whole strategy in terms of now taking this condition into reality. How should we capture the market? What should we do? So MIQ as a company, we were pretty much adaptive into work from home and kind of model. But unfortunately, being in sales or business development, the challenge is the clients are not equipped with that kind of infrastructure, or that kind of they're not comfortable using in the initial days. So that been a bit of hiccup in the early days, but a blessing in disguise. I think the whole the change of work from home and lockdown in a way helped our business quite well, because if it was a normal scenario, I would have been like literally just 2 or 3 meetings a day because of traveling through traffic and different cities, going for physical meetings. But because of the whole online game, we were able to cover almost like 100 clients in first 1 month, and that gives us a very good jump start for whole business. And we were able to gain more market knowledge and feedback and etc. So as I said, it was a blessing in disguise for us. So the whole online conversation helped us really well, because we also realized that the online standpoint, video call standpoint, we were able to present and have a deeper conversation in a way. So, yeah, for us as an initial start standpoint, this is how it was, and it worked really well.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Varun. And as we proceed, I'd just like to remind you that this is a time-bound session, and kindly have your answers little crisp. Yes, it's okay, Mr. Varun. Yeah, let me quickly pass it on to Mr. Dinesh. I would like to ask you the same question, Mr. Dinesh.
So I think I'll say similar to Varun, because I joined just a month before to a company called Spartan Poker, which was into complete gaming. And when the COVID lockdown happened, the first thing that we thought, okay, how are we gonna get the business as continue the way it's going right now? How can we ensure that? Second thing, the second thing that I focus a lot is that how we hire the right resources, because we do not know how to hire people into the digital space right now. We know that we get a people interview, meet in person, see, and then hire. And third, that whole logistic managing and everything. So I think one thing that I have, for us, we quickly adapted to the, digital channels. We realized how can we figure out how can we use Zoom better to get to reach out to our, to reach out to our partners, understand how can we do better. MIQ being one of my partners at that time. So we, we figured it out. Then, we learned how to hire online. So whole complete, process of doing interviews on Zoom, doing on the WhatsApp and figuring out people. So I think it's been a pretty rough journey, initial 2-3 months for us. I think, but overall we all adapted to it and figure out how to, how to run our businesses. And I think on the what the way Varun said, it was a blessing in disguise, because at that time suddenly, because people are at home and they need something to do, the gaming just went on top of the chart.
True.
So we see an increased number, and at that time the pressure also increased. And we try to figure out how to how to work it out in both the scenarios and get the best out of business.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Dinesh. Let me quickly pass it on to Mr. Pratap.
Yeah. So I am an advisor to multiple companies. So I will just narrate the experience which we observed in different companies, primarily SMB, which is a relevant talk for today. So SMB, most of them were not prepared about the pandemic at all, because everybody was working only from offices most of the time. They were not very friendly to the technological collaboration tools, etc. So most of them suffered. But I think in the initial 1 month or so, they managed to take additional hardwares, laptops, provide them to their employees, and somehow figure out how to start collaboration tools like Zoom or Microsoft Teams, etc. So they went for it on a very urgent basis. Some of them also understood that their in-house servers or data centers is not manageable. So they immediately took a call, took some advices like ours, services, etc., to how do we quickly migrate to the cloud so that we can access our systems at least from anywhere and from home. So it was a struggle, but it was like as Varun and Dinesh said, it was a blessing in disguise that digital adoption got accelerated very fast during this pandemic because of the pandemic.
Very true.
Both on collaboration tools parts as well as from a technology adoption.
Very true. Very true. Well said, Mr. Pratap. Thank you so much. Let me quickly pass it on to Mr. Ravi. So over to you.
So for us, though we are a part of a large business group in manufacturing and services both as well, but when pandemic started in mid-March, so everybody was expecting that it's a matter of week or 10 days or a month, but it was unending. And unending means totally unending. When it is going to close, nobody was knowing. And we are also dependent on many SMEs, so who are helping us in supply chain and spare parts and local support. And everybody was working with office and their workshops and dense people related support they were providing. But suddenly everything stopped. These SMEs had a very little infrastructure support in terms of IT and technology. So sometimes in mid-June, we decided how can we help to run the business and empower in terms of capability building to these small business partners.
All right.
So we supported in terms of infrastructure, training through our people to their people, how to use the technology. They had no laptop. So for example, we had some stock we could share at a free of cost to them, call them on the Teams, help them how to work to a great extent. So that started working after July. So what was learning was that it became like other colleagues, Pratap and Varun was saying, it was in the beginning till June, it was a big threat. But slowly today we felt that it was a great opportunity given in terms of digitization and digitalization both. So now a guy who's sitting 1,000 kilometers away is also able to serve us, and we are helping him to grow through enablement in terms of technology, internet, IoT, everything in that way. So today I'm full agreement that it has turned out for SMB who are very active as an opportunity to use for the business growth and cost moderation also. So many of our partners are also saying during this experience, they have rationalized the cost through online working or something like this.
All right. Fantastic. Fantastic, Mr. Ravi. I would like to ask the same to Mr. Rohit. So over to you.
Thank you, Muthu. See, when the lockdown has started, it was very much challenging for our business because we were having on the real estate arm, and another is the Stratcon. We are into the knowledge series, but earlier the people were a little bit reluctant to work from home and take the work home. Now, what is happening as the lockdown has started, it was as rightly pointed out, like it will be only for 15 days or a month, but it has continued for more than 3 months, and earlier also the people were working with a 30 or 20 to 30% capacity. So at that time, yeah, we have started working, providing the internet, Zoom usage. That was a quite challenge. It has taken us a time of 1 to 2 months to get everyone adaptable for the new technology. And yeah, right now my 80% of the workforce is now they are working from home only, and they are working from the remote areas also. Even we have added the businesses, we have increased our business also during that time frame. And yeah, as it has been rightly highlighted by other speakers also, that it was a disguise, a blessing in the disguise. It has definitely helped us to scale our business by more than 30%.
All right.
During this lockdown.
All right. Thank you. Thank you,
Also,
Mr.
I just
Rohit.
want to add one more point. In fact, one thing which I fairly appreciate whole thing is, like, for example, when you have physical meetings, there should be a lot of delays by reaching for meeting or meeting clients and etc. But
Very
the
true.
whole online call actually helps save time a lot because of the people start following calendar. I mean,
Very true.
it never happened before, you know. So
True,
that is
very
something which
true.
is a very big advantage. And a lot of companies, I mean, as we mentioned in terms of Ravi sir mentioned that the way that a lot of companies are empowered to get into digital, and they find a lot of new streams of business overall through internet. So that's a, I think, big advantage over there.
Very true, very true, Varun. As a matter of fact, I think a lot of people have integrated their Zoom with the calendars, and when the meeting is
exactly.
fixed,
Absolutely.
the phone itself gives reminders. Fantastic, Mr. Varun. And as we proceed, I think Janice beautifully explained, or rather gave a brief about the smart internet of the TTPS when she spoke in her welcome address. So I'd like to ask you, gentlemen, how is this smart internet, redefining the way we do business or helping us in the business growth? I would again like to start with Mr. Varun. Over to you.
The whole thing is we do have cutting edge technology today. It's about how wisely we use it, right? So adaptation of technology and use it wisely would help a lot in terms of the growth. So I believe for everything there is a two side of coin. Like for example, if as I said that it saves time, online meetings are good and etc. But physical meeting also have its own advantage, because to have more recall or more the relationship building standpoint, physical meeting always help. I mean, on that standpoint, at the same time, the smart internet usage of technology, I think that's where the world is moving, and it's better to adapt faster and move in the right direction, and having the right mix of what we need and how to use it. I think that is more important. It's not about you have 10 technologies, you need to implement everything. It's about understanding your own business and implementing the right tech as per your need. So that makes a lot of difference, and use it wisely.
Fantastic, Mr. So having a clarity of what we need and using it wisely helps us, to improve our growth. Fantastic, Mr. Varun. I would like to pass on the same question to Mr. Dinesh Arora. So over to you.
I think when we say smart internet, yes, I think I agree with Varun that Zoom does help us, but I think what went correct was that we realized that we need to adapt to technologies. We cannot run the way we are running the show before that, and that's where I think the life changes. We realize how to connect with our people. How can we improve their productivity using the various tools. Like to talk about a simple tool like CRMs. Before that, somebody sitting in an office figuring out data and see, but then we realize, okay, we need to have a good CRM tool which can actually automate the journeys, which can improve the overall experience for the customer, overall, improve the ROI for the brand. So, a lot of great tool we got to figure out. We use those tools to improve the overall performance for our customers. Then using from, having this, server sitting in office, we guys are moving to AWS or different cloud solution for that matter, like Azure from Tata. So, we it help us to learn better, and we are able to adapt to the technologies which actually help us to grow better. That's what I think. See, on a smart internet side, I think like, we were able to use the right technologies. We all must have done our bits and pieces to figure out what technology is right now, but it gives us the time to explore and experiment and come up with the right technologies which can help us to grow better.
All right.
That's my 2 bits on it.
Fantastic, Mr. Dinesh. I'd like to pass on the same to Mr. Pratap.
Yeah, I think this smart internet concept in the earlier also was available in the form of different services, maybe provided by different vendors. But the way Tata Tele has packaged it together with respect to security, assured internet, and also the manageability portion of it, which is essential for SMBs, particularly in today's context when digital adoption is already there and they are at the risk of attacking from the security point of view. They don't have skill sets to manage themselves internally. So they can go and buy internet easily from any service provider. But when it is bundled with these facilities in the form of a smart internet, I think that is very good and useful step Tata Tele has taken for the SMBs, because that will help definitely to accelerate their further digital adoptions of various applications, various systems, because now they are used to working from home or working remotely and accessing all the applications. So it has to be done securely. And that's where the Tata Tele. But I don't know about the cost part of it, because SMBs are always the cost conscious category. They don't have too much of luxurious IT budgets. So depending on the positioning of the pricing, etc., I see it will be definitely useful for SMEs.
Fantastic. Thank you, Mr. Pratap. Mr. Ravi, I'd like to know your perspective for the same.
Yeah. So I started with where Pratap was saying that for SMBs, one of the challenge, the cost management. because they are not a big houses. So how the technology is going to be cost effective, and application creating some sort of model, like for example, Dinesh was talking about the server. So earlier we used to have a big servers, large servers at different locations. So how can we use the cloud platform to avoid the cost of servers and easy access across the globe? So we have to choose the technology what suits to your business requirement, and business requirement should not be looked with the technology context for a very long run, because the technology is also changing so fast. So no big investment with a very future plan, 5 years, 3 years. We don't know what is going to be a shape of new technology in 2 years. So it should be a very contemporary solution. Second, how we can operationalize through internet, smart internet, and how we are able to capture the customer experience by using the internet. So earlier we used to have a feedbacks, survey, everything in person. So now the technology is a very cheap for SMBs. It is a boon rather. So how we are going to use that technology, smart technology, to make our growth, I mean for SMBs growth, much more better, much more effective today using the technology.
Fantastic, Mr. Ravi. I would like to understand for the same question from Mr. Rohit. So over to you.
Thank you, Muthu. Yes, see, anything like in today's time, if you will talk about it, especially post-COVID, for anything you're taking a business, scaling up the business to the next level, technology has become the quite, like we can say, it is the part of the growth now. It is the most important ingredient. Another thing is the optimum utilization of the technologies is required, even which is more beneficial. Those studies needs to be done in terms of the cost plus efficiency. And definitely as we are there in the knowledge industry, and there was one of the basic top priority was the security, data security.
All right.
Yeah, so smart, yeah, definitely it will play a very important role. And how it works out, that yeah, definitely I want to understand, and most probably I may go for such kind of the product also.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Rohit. But today, I think most of us would agree to the fact that we are all caught up in a very paradoxical situation. India being a market, no matter whatever the technology we come up with, I think the face-to-face networking with the customers are always very effective. It has always been very efficient as far as the Indian market is concerned. But on the flip side, since the pandemic outbreak is really intense with the new variant coming up, just like a Shah Rukh Khan movie, releasing once in every 3 months or once in every 6 months, and there is no stop to it. Going digital is also, inevitable, right? In such situations, the products like the smart internet from the Tata Tele Business Services are helping the SMEs to grow in their business on a very comfortable scale. Speaking about which, I would love to understand from the panel how the pivot of smart internet can enhance the experience and efficiency among your customers. I'd once again like to start with Mr. Varun. Sir, over to you.
So we are a global digital marketing company, right? So for us, everything is technically driven, and we adapt to different kind of technology to service our clients in terms of solutions and products. So, and our global operation hub is in Bangalore, where we have almost 500 employees there and managing the global operation. So for us, two things: anything with smarter connectivity, smarter solutions always help us to enhance our solutions for betterment of the clients, for that matter. Right. At the same time, the market evolving and getting efficient in terms of consuming better connectivity, and now even for our clients, they started adapting more towards the DMPs, D2C model are adapted to by different clients. So these all are, majority of the FMCG clients never have thought of a D2C model, direct to consumer model earlier. They were all offline distribution. But as they are adapting towards technology, it will definitely helping us in terms of supporting them to give better solutions. And there is a huge business opportunity around it. So I think and I believe the transition which already started is going to enhance a lot of new business opportunities as well as a revenue model for many companies around.
All right, fantastic, Mr. Varun. I'd like to ask the same to Mr. Dinesh.
So I think I have not used smart internet as a product that Atlas come with, I think when I was part of Angel Broking, remember our main domain was hosted on Azure at that time. Okay. I think the reason that we had was that because we believe that Azure is more safe and more secure as a platform. Okay. I think in the recent time when the SME and all, this is what my point of view, when they're going live, they do not understand what are the challenges that they're going to face when they move their servers to on, cloud and all. And we all have the luxury to hire a good, great technology team in our offices. Okay. But they do not have that luxury. Plus, this cost is very high. A good engineer costs you a good amount. So I think having a product like that, always, Smart Internet, where they take care of the pain of managing the servers and helping them to do what they do best, it's a good change for them, so they can actually focus on what they can work on and let this pain of managing the tech, IT assets and services, let's take care of somebody who can actually add a lot more value and ensure that their assets and their products are safe and they can do their better business better. That's what my thought process is. I think Pratap can add a lot more points on it from my side, from this
All
side.
right. Thank you, Mr. Dinesh. I would like to ask the same to Mr. Pratap. Sir, what do you think?
Yeah, smart internet will, as I said earlier, it will definitely help them to take care of one component, which is connectivity, to access the applications from everywhere. But as Dinesh mentioned and Ravi already said, is about all. It's not only that's a one enabler for their growth as well as for their increasing experience and efficiency with respect to the customer. So the other components, of course, some of them have already adopted is either migrating to cloud or having a pay as use kind of hardware infrastructure. And some of them have also adopted SaaS models of application as pay for use, because this pay for use concept is really helpful to the SMB, because they don't have to invest upfront. They don't require to stand there. Then if it comes along with the manageability components also, like in application case, yes, most of the application vendors provide that. Similarly, the internet case, if Tata Tele is coming with the manageability security part on the connectivity network front, and the cloud vendors are already there to manage the infra component. So all put together, they will still require some human beings to manage the show. It's not that it's going to be journey is going to be easy. But the most important element is, of course, the adaptability of the technology by this SMB, because for that their business value proposition, like customer orientation, whether they want to invest this kind of a technology to increase the customer experience or not, that comes the first. So the business has to drive all that investments part, and that's where the change management, or let's say training to the users and adopting these all components and putting all puzzle together to solve their business problems is essential. And that's where some of the vendors also can help them to do that.
All right.
And some of the SMBs are already on their journey, because they have realized now in this pandemic, because of the business pressures, customer is important, customer experience is important, and they have to be efficient in servicing all their customers.
All right. Thank you, Mr.
I
Pratap.
want to add one more point, Madhu, here.
Yeah.
I think it's this question when we talk about smart internet, it is not only a SMB related question. Okay, that's my thought. Is like when a brand launch a TV campaign or any big brand media campaign, at that time the trouble come is that how many servers is right to procure before you go with the brand campaign. Okay, at that time with the model like pay per use actually become very important, because that ensures that your overall cost is well maintained, and if there is a sudden spike in your use, you don't have to run for to get another server. I think I had a case in similar this quote. I think for about Tendercard right now, when I'm launching my brand campaign, where I'm having a TV campaign going in 3 cities right now. So I just went with my partners and just said, okay, can you give me ensure that you taking care of my connectivity and my usage perspective? And I moved to a plan when I will paying when I'm then there is a consumption, there is consumption. Okay? So I think that's something the thing. This particular thing is required for everyone. SMBs require more because they do not understand this thing that good that we understand. But it is a game for all of us. And it's I think this move was a game changer move when this was actually thought through. So I can say commendable job whoever come with this particular idea of paper use.
True. Thank you, Mr. Dinesh. I would like to ask the same to Mr. Ravi Mishra. Sir, over to you.
Yeah. So what Dinesh was saying, it's a game changer. And in fact, people, the smart internet give you lots of added advantage. And basically for SMBs, lots of, dashboard kind of services, big data and analytics you can get through in a secured environment. Working the private data for SMEs or SMBs works very well, depending upon how you define your need and you choose the correct, most suitable need of the system provided by Tata Tele or XYZ, company which suits best to your business.
All right.
So you have to select very judiciously what makes sense to your business.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Ravi. Mr. Rohit, what do you think about this?
Yeah, see, first of all, as I had already mentioned earlier, for anything for the small businesses, the first is the cost. Another thing, what comes the resources. As it has been highlighted, like the getting a proper technical person on board is quite costly for the small organizations. And if a companies like Tata Tele comes out with such a solutions, it will be definitely helpful. And definitely we can't imagine the business scaling up without the help of the technology. As you are moving ahead, we have to be completely dependent on the technology. And now the market dynamics are also changing in such a way that every we can say like I've been seeing in the last 2 years, every 6 months the everything's are like technology adoptions are getting changed.
True.
So it is quite obvious we have to look, and such kind of the technologies, if our companies are coming, big companies, to help the SMPs, yeah, definitely it will be helpful.
True. Thank you, Mr. Rohit. I just want to recollect one of the points Mr. Pratap was talking in the first few sets of discussion. He said something very beautifully, that this COVID has, made us all to aggressively adapt to the technology, right? So when I say technology, this has been prevalent even before the COVID had come. So this technology starts right from mailing system, right? So right from Gmail, right from WhatsApp, right from Twitter, everything is technology. But what happened after this COVID is there were a number of tools that were available in the internet that made businesses and connectivity very easy and seamless, right? So just imagine, as soon as this pandemic broke, the one app that every other Indian had on their phone, every other person in the globe had, was the Zoom, right? Even my father used to have Zoom, and I asked him why you had it. He just said everyone is having, so I just thought I'll install it first and then see how it works. So that is how this technology is gobbling up and changing the way our lifestyle is. Speaking about which, I would love to understand from you panelists, what kind of technology adoption have you initiated to ensure the continuity of business during pandemic? I would like to start with Mr. Dinesh this time. So over to you.
So I think technology comes second. The first thing that was important, which Mr. Pratap has added, that every business in the SME side was majorly like a business where we are running on desktops. The first thing that was think through is that how can we ensure that every resource of us have a mean to reach out to do his job. That was the first area that we said, how can we ensure everybody has the right laptop and all. Okay. Then the second thing that we figure out is that how can we connect our thing. We have Microsoft Teams in our systems. Okay. But were we using it before the pandemic happened? We can say maybe 0.1%. But after this pandemic happened, we realized there is no other way to reach out to multiple people, because if we do lately a telecom conference call, that cannot serve more than 4 or 5 connections.
True.
So then I think the thing that majorly we put is that once we get the systems aligned for everyone, the thing was that how can we find the tools that can be used to collaborate. I think that's where the tools like Microsoft Teams get into picture, the tool like Zoom get into picture, and then training our teams how to use that platform. I think those things were actually, these were the first technologies that were built, that we were moved in the system. And then after that, complete, taking the smart system like, Tata services, where we have servers where we can pass our data, user can, anybody across the country can actually get into system, call, use into server and take out data that require. That's the second thing that we use in. I think these are the most important two things that we first use, and then there is a use of other technologies that we built in, but I think these are the majorly what was required, because without this you cannot function at all.
All right. Fantastic, Mr. Dinesh. Mr. Pratap, what do you think about this?
Well, I think as Dinesh mentioned, it was the initial period of the pandemic where people were struggling, etc. But now, by now, in last 1.5 years to 2 years time, everybody is settled. Everybody is able to use Zoom, collaborate, have to calendar adoption. Everything has happened. So the now next level, I think some of the SMBs, I don't want to name any, but I have experienced that some people have started thinking beyond regular applications. Like some people have already accepted that we need some ERP kind of a solutions, and smaller or bigger, everybody has gone ahead with some investment and they are using their accounting back office compliance is being taken care of. So beyond that, now some of these SMBs have started thinking that now the fact that we are little digitally better, everybody is digital savvy in our organization, at least their assumption is like that, because they are using Zoom and collaboration, productivity is improved. Some companies have given out their rental offices and they have saved that cost, and now they don't want to, they want to have a hybrid kind of operation for the future so that they can continue to save that cost. So all that has happened, but now some of them have also started thinking about how can we adopt some of these latest techs also, because all of that is available in the pay for use in a cloud model, delivery models, where we can try some of the initiatives. One of my company has tried data analytics kind of AI kind of a module. They wanted to build and find out whether it can help in their production line to optimize the yield. So they had to start putting some sensors, collect data. And so people have started thinking in that direction also. Of course, it all depends from company to company. All SMBs are not same, but wherever CEOs are IT savvy and they can think of all such kind of a solutions, they have realized that now all technologies which big companies can implement are available for us also in a smaller version with pay for use kind of a model, where we can experiment, try. If we are getting benefit of yield improvement, fine. Otherwise, we can wind it up. So that possibilities have increased because of the technology adoption and digital adoptions during this pandemic.
All right. All right. Thank you, Mr. Pratap. Mr. Mishra, would you like to add your thoughts to it?
Yeah, so technology has become a big enabler of either on the cost side or speed wise or quality wise. I remember earlier we used to have only Skype business, and then Zoom, and then Microsoft Teams. Even we all know that in last 2 years, Microsoft Teams itself has evolved so much new features, new access has come up to make it much more easier to use, and people even on the go while commuting, they are able to use the technology sitting in car or sitting in even sometimes transport by using earphone on the mobile. So the journey from desktop to laptop to mobile, how the apps is moving about. I mean, if you have to add on something, your guy has gone to the market, and even 5 minutes before his meeting to his client, you can update him on the mobile, even if SMB is not carrying laptop. So I mean, technology has unlimited, unbound scope for SMEs, and as Pratap was saying, even many times you have to pay and use, so you don't need to hire a large portfolio holding employees for the IT and internet. You can hire the services of all, right from big to middle size. Service providers are available in the IT field. You can hire the services and make your small team some skill to learn and adopt and deliver for the better growth.
All right. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Ravi. I would like to pass it on the same to Mr. Rohit.
See, for me, my views are the same with the other panelists only. And most of the time, some of the products were available earlier also, but as the need has arisen, so people have came to know about them about these products now. If you talk about the Zoom calls or the Google Meet, it was there earlier also. But yeah, definitely after this pandemic, the need has arisen, and these companies have also added many features also in this, so which is very much common.
All right. Fantastic, fantastic, Mr. Rohit. As we're talking about this technology, right? We are all tech savvy, of course, for the fact that we're all CEOs or CXOs. We have to get adapted to all these kind of technologies. But everyone, as a business owner, would have definitely faced the solution on taking this technology and reaching it to the employees. For example, a very quick example is having a seamless virtual communication or a virtual meeting was very difficult in the starting stage of pandemic, because Zoom, we had to purchase a license. Not everyone had it. And of course, not everyone had the same bandwidth as we do, right? So there are employees, so, sitting in a remote place, and having a seamless bandwidth or a seamless connection was very big of a challenge. As a similar way as Varun and Dinesh were talking, reaching out the laptops and the machines to the employees was also of a great challenge. My very own brother was working for an MNC, and he had to wait for a couple of good hours in the line, just like you have to wait for a movie ticket to go and collect his machine to work from home, right? So this is how the situations were. Talking about that, I would love to understand from you, what are some of the biggest challenges faced by enterprises in terms of adopting to the new digital normal? Or again, like to start with Mr. Dinesh. Mr. Dinesh, are you with us? All right. So let me quickly pass it on to Mr. Pratap. So I would like to understand your perspectives for this.
So the challenges we are already described in the initial struggle part, where when we discussed that there were challenges to adopt this digital normal in the beginning, but now I think everybody is more or less sorted and they are used to use all these tools. So now the challenge is again coming to reset and maybe come to a new normal. Now it has become like a new digital normal, which is predefined and we are used to it. Now people are resisting to go back to the office in some cases. So that is going to be another. But one of the biggest challenge in the beginning, when I observed that apart from these technology challenges, which was easily addressed by the trainings, etc., virtual trainings, etc., biggest challenge was from a management perspective, the mindset of the top management. Because now people are working from home. Initially, most of the top management people were feeling whether they are working, not working. So somewhere there were demands of, are there any tracking tools? Can I track my employees, etc.? So that kind of a mindset challenges were there. But sooner or later, we realized that, as earlier one of the panelists was mentioning, instead of physical meeting, Varun was mentioning, instead of physical meeting, which is taking a lot of time and people used to come late, etc., digital meetings, we are more productive. We are able to, virtual meeting, we are able to schedule it on time and we are finishing on time. So I think we became more productive. Plus, in some places, the working hours were diluted. So it was no more a 9:30 to 5. It was anytime, anywhere meeting. So telephonic access was there, as well as the Zoom or whatever virtual platform access was there. And most of the employees were adjusting to that because they had to take care of house core also during those initial pandemic strict lockdown period.
True.
So those were the major challenges I saw in some of our customers.
Fantastic, Mr. Pratap. I'd like to ask the same to Mr. Ravi. So over to you.
Yeah. The biggest challenge had been our own bias, cultural bias, that people will not work at home. So this was given a great business model itself to our teachers, educators, and senior leadership mindset, that they had a mistrust or bad trust, rather, not only mistrust, but I'll use harsh word like bad trust, that people will not work at home. Even today, many leaders feel that people working from home are delivering much more, because in big cities like you're focusing today in Mumbai. In Mumbai, there are many people, many, male or female colleagues. They are spending 4 hours a day in commuting from home to office, which is not productive at all. And people are very happy. Out of 4 hours, they are even ready to give 2 hours more to the company, sitting at home, even after dinner, if they are comfortable to work, to reply some of the emails, 8-10 mails in an hour time. They are doing, many people are doing extra hours. And as Varun was earlier saying, that there is in 6 people meeting, 4 people have come, and other 4 are waiting for 2 people only. So that speed and saving of the time has been wonderful. And mindset is broken, that how flexi a person can work. Suppose if I have to go with my family to some of my relatives in from Mumbai to Delhi, I can work from Delhi. There is no problem. Because if I'm going to Delhi, my family is going to be engaged, but I'm free on the laptop. Laptop is my office. So how to break that mindset is very well broken. So people can work from anywhere at any time. That's a big boon during this. And the challenge was broken is a myth or bias, you can say, of our own mind, that people don't work. So these two are broken, and how best we can make a right mix of the hybrid model to work. That is the way for every organization. As Pratap was saying, there are many employees now today, they are not inclined to come to even office. Not only office, I mean, my daughter used to say I was very much unlucky when I had to go to everyday school and offline examination. And my brother has got the degree, I'm sitting at home. So how it works, I mean, this is a good opportunity all the way.
Right.
Coming back to topic, this is a good thing.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Ravi. I'd like to pass it on to Mr. Rohit.
Yeah, the biggest challenge earlier was the technology and the training, as it has been highlighted. And I will say that was most of the challenges was just like a myth only. And post-COVID, yeah, it has changed. Another thing I want to add is like even the reach to the clients. Earlier, like till the time we are not having the physical meetings, so clients were also a little bit hesitant for doing the business also. But due to this COVID and everything, thanks to the Zoom and the virtual meeting platforms, due to this, now we have expanded our customer base also, and even the reach also. So right now we can target the international markets also because of these platforms. Right. Earlier we were like SMPs, companies like us also, we were thinking like how we can pitch them. But yeah, definitely now we are taking the international assignments also, and even in the education system also, a lot of because some of my clients are there in the education sector.
All right.
They are even picking up the businesses from Australia, US also. And one good thing also it has happened. We can take the example of the Indian education. They are now some of the private universities and even the old government universities are also planning to shift from the paper and pen exams to online exams.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Rohit. And since we have Dinesh back, may I, we are talking about some of the biggest challenges the enterprises are facing while, adopting to the digital normal. So I would like to understand your perspectives for the same, Mr. Dinesh. Mr. Dinesh, can you please unmute? I think I'm audible, right?
So he is not able to unmute, he's saying.
I have requested you. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. So I think I'll add from Pratap and Ravi's point of view that the first major challenge that we faced was the the founder's mentality. I was part of a company where I think initial time when we decided that we have to let our people work from home, and the proprietor or maybe the founder is not very comfortable with it. I remember having a multiple fight with my team, and I think I think once the July happened and the lockdown started opening, and everybody in at my level, other CXO want to open the office and want to get people in the office, and I think I was the only one who was pushing people that let's not call people office because we can work from home. This is not stopping our life, and that I think is the one thing that that is the major concern that we have seen. I think I think I will give one credit to COVID. I think I'm the only guy who will say that here. I think if we talk about earlier, we all used to talk to all our counterparts in US and other. They said we never go to meet our client because the meeting can happen virtually. They understand, they get the clarity, and the business just start. In India, how many of say that we can actually close a client before meeting him at least once? I think no one.
Correct.
So I think the one thing that happened is that people understand that you don't need to meet a person to close a business. That's the first thing happen.
Correct.
Second, you talk about work-life balance. I know initial 6-8 months we all have that trouble because we were working till 10:30, 11, 12. I think I have taken a call at 2:30 in the night also a lot of time when Worker called me up.
Very true.
But the point is that at some time we learn, we understand, we need to find boundaries so that work-life balance happen.
True, very true.
Third thing that I talk about is work from anywhere.
Hmm.
Can we think of that taking a off? Can we take a think of like can we take a off in a month for 15 days to spend time with our family? Like I was staying in Mumbai. My family is in Delhi. If I have to go and meet my family, I have to take a little off because my office does not allow me to work from home.
True.
But when the lockdown happened, I was working for like 6 months from Goa, for that matter.
Hmm.
So keep in mind, we this this COVID period and this whole lockdown actually improved our growth and increased the adoption. Another key, we actually moved almost 15 years ahead than what we are supposed to be. Thinking about letting our people work from home, letting them work from anywhere may not come for 15 more years in India, because our people have the mindset that we want our team sitting right next to us to do.
True,
So I
very true.
think challenges are there, but I think it helps us to moved our speed so fast that the challenge that we are facing right now is like what 10% of the overall scenario, which we close in maybe next few months ke andar, maybe in a year ke andar. But
Yeah.
that this what is give us right now, I can think of hiring a talent from
Mr.
a remote
Dinesh, I would like
location.
to interrupt since we have just 4 more
Sorry.
minutes left.
Okay.
I
So I
just want
think
to.
that's like I think it help us. I think it's not challenges. It actually help us enable us to do
All right.
much better. We have to think that perspective that will help us much more as a point of view from my
All
side.
right. Thank you, Mr. Dinesh. So, going on with the final question for today's panel discussion, I like to understand. So, we'll be talking about all the challenges, but one thing as a business owner that defines us is the ability to, find the solutions for a problem, right? So, speaking about on that ground, what kind of enterprise solutions you feel can enhance your productivity in business? I'd like to start once again with Mr. Pratap. So, over to you.
Yeah, so as soon as we use word productivity, the employee comes in our mind, and employees' productivity is utmost important. And I think in current context where we are supposed to work from anywhere, the productivity can be enhanced only if we have a proper collaboration tool, proper application access from wherever employee is available. So his productivity is on top and he is able to get access to all the data, what he is supposed to get to complete his day-to-day work. So that's the most important thing. And for that, I think the products like smart internet, the connectivity becomes extremely important. And the
Right.
products like smart internet will certainly help to make them a productive as well as with secure and manageable solutions from the service providers. So I guess that becomes like an underlying fabric for increasing the productivity. But apart from that, they need to have some use case applications also, which will make them productive.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Pratap. Kindly have your answers a little crisp. So, moving forward, I would like to understand the same from Mr. Ravi.
In my opinion, there are three pillars for the SMEs. One is the growth, second is the employee, third is the cost. So how we can use the best smart technology to focus on these three pillars to make our business viable for a long term, and at the same time, how it should be secure and cost effective solution from the IT side.
All right.
So these three pillars are important for that.
Thank you, Mr. Ravi. Mr. Rohit, what are your thoughts on this?
For me, yeah, I completely agree with Mr. Pratap and Ravi what they have told. First, we need to have the proper collaboration with the team, and all the access should be available. And another thing, the thing what we need to think of is the security in terms of the data, because cyber security is also one of the major thing what is required and what we need to focus on it.
True. Thank you, Mr. Rohit. Mr. Dinesh, I would like to wrap up with you. Give me a minute, sir. I'll give you a request to unmute. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. I'm sorry, Madhur, you have to give me the question once more, so get a little more clarity on it. I'm
So
still trying to give my thoughts.
Yeah, I asked what kind of enterprise solutions you feel can enhance your business productivity.
I think honestly, this question may not be the right for me. I think from the point of view, because from an enterprise solution, from a marketing point of view, I already answered what can be tool that I require for more collaboration point of view के हिसाब से. But I think enterprise, if you ask from a technology and all, think the best person to be somebody who can actually help us. How can we scale our assets and do better there?
Okay. All right. All right. Thank you, Mr. Dinesh. And with that, we come to the end of today's panel discussion. A huge round of applause to all the speakers who have participated. I think we all can give a good round of applause for ourselves. And I think the viewers who viewed today's panel discussion would definitely have had a lot of inputs to take home and implement the same in their business. And before we say a goodbye, I would like to invite Janice Das to once again turn on her mic and deliver the closing thoughts for today's session. Over to you, Janice.
Thank you. And thank you, Pradap ji. Thank you, Ravi ji. Thank you, Rohit ji. Thank you, Dinesh ji. And of course, thank you, Muthu. Thank you for your lovely and great insights. I look forward to be in touch with all of you and keep engaging with you in such kind of forums. We also have 2 big digital events, 2 big digital forums where we take you through a lot of our products and solutions in details and how it can help you to do big with our smart solutions.
Right.
Thank you once again and looking forward to engage with you again in future. Thank you.